Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up healthcare. Looming Supreme Court decision will decide if insurance companies must cover PrEP. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear a crucial case about the Affordable Care Act. The case challenges the requirements for insurers to cover preventative services, including HIV prevention drugs like PrEP. Arguments are set for spring, with a decision expected by June. Conservative Texas attorney Jonathan Mitchell, representing Braidwood Management, argues that covering PrEP violates religious beliefs by promoting, quote, homosexual behavior. In 2022, U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor ruled in favor of the plaintiffs. However, the Department of Justice appealed, limiting the ruling's nationwide impact. At issue is the structure of the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the task force's structure violated the Appointments Clause of the U.S. Constitution. The government, however, insists the task force operates constitutionally and ensures essential services like PrEP, cancer screenings, and vaccinations remain accessible. The case is now with the Supreme Court, with potential consequences for broader coverage of preventative services. If the court rules against the government, it could limit coverage for other critical health services, including cancer screenings and vaccinations. Again, this is the government getting into our healthcare in a really, really bad and offensive way. As we all at this table know, and many people who have half of a brain, HIV is not just aimed at the gay community or LGBTQ community, and the fastest areas of spread are actually in many cases outside of our community.
Yep.
Because of lack of education and preventative services.
Like the story.
Yes, like the story is advocating for.
Yeah.
Right.
So, again, if you are against big government being in your bedroom or in your doctor's office, this is why you have to come out and vote and make sure you do your research on who's leading in your towns and cities, because, again, they're finding every place that they can get into our life and try to manipulate and, take control.
It's really counterintuitive, though, because if you block something that will help prevent a very expensive illness and more people become HIV positive, that's going to be a strain on our healthcare system. And that the government is going to end up having to pay for it.
Oh, kind of like outlawing abortion, you mean?
Kind of like,
That's where I was thinking too. How could you
it's like,
not
why?
associate the two?
It just
Absolutely
doesn't make sense.
Like, why wouldn't the government be invested in getting to zero? Like,
Exactly.
Not
That should
and
be
it's an
something.
insurance company that started this, right? And so
Yeah.
you can't help but just wonder if they were just thinking of it as another one of the millions of ways that they screw over consumers so they can make more money.
Yeah, but
then it became what it is now.
Yeah,
but insurance companies are paying for HIV and AIDS care.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
Yeah, they want preventative anything. I mean, that's they're encouraging people to do that. So, and I also hear these stories, and you think, again, a lot of these cases, whether it's about this or it's about things in schools, is the cases themselves are designed to get headlines for somebody who wants to run for something, to say that they went after something, and
They want to be known
the
as
ones who
standing
took
for
on
something
PrEP.
in particular.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things.
Visibility.
Visibility.
And this is also just promoting stigma and fear that's
Yeah.
related to
Exactly, yeah.
HIV.
Well said.
So if you have, there's a really high rate of women that are being infected with HIV, and it can be prevented with PrEP. But now, if it's again the gay disease, like it was GRID in the beginning,
Right, exactly.
gay-related infectious disease.
45 years ago.
Exactly. We're back right there
Good
again.
God.
So how are we going to be able to contain the spread of
We
this
won't.
disease, right?
We won't be able
And
to.
it's such a miracle that we've been able to, and that
Right.
we were able to make progress in such a short time once we got people's attention.
Right.
So this is not an area where we do need to take a half a step back or a step back, that's for sure.
People just don't want anyone to have sex, What's
Well, there's
wrong with
that too. Everything is
right?
going back to celibacy and abstinence. That's what they're teaching in schools too. There's no sex ed.
As
Everything is
That's working
as
well
if
in the past.
exactly.
Lesbians
Yes.
are the only ones that are allowed to have sex.
right? Because we can't make babies.
Or HIV, not so much.
Well,
not as
yeah.
much.
Right.
That's a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.